If John Cena's genuinely now a face, it's one of the worst booking decisions I have ever seen, but I think it's all a ruse. As much as I hate to say it, Logan Paul's heel work is simply incredible. Mr. Iguana is somehow already a superstar in WWE. What is up, wrestling fans? I'm Ben Allison here at Wrestling Republic, and I have analysed last night's episode of Friday Night SmackDown, and here are my 5 key findings. In at number 5, as much as I hate to say it, Logan Paul's heel work is simply incredible. The dude is one of the most unlikable guys in professional wrestling right now, and not just because of his controversies outside of the ring, but also because he's just a really good heel. He plays his role frustratingly well, and him going off at Jelly Roll for being an outsider, it was really funny last night. But again, he doesn't just do it in a funny way, but it's a way where it still does feel frustrating. I mean, this dude is just too good at this. Now, does it still go against Drew McIntyre's character teaming with Logan Paul? Absolutely. And we haven't really had any explanation as to why Drew McIntyre is now suddenly going back on his word, when as a character, Drew McIntyre actually is someone who's always stood by their word. I mean, you can make a case that McIntyre has been right about everything over the past couple of years, that even though he's been a heel, he's actually been a babyface. But in this story, well, it kind of doesn't make sense. Now, a lot of my issue with this match heading into it was the fact that I was upset that Drew McIntyre was not getting a major match at SummerSlam. But this match is actually being presented as a much bigger deal than I actually originally expected. And what was really interesting was the fact that Jelly Roll and Randy Orton stood tall at the end of SmackDown last night, which of course usually does suggest that they will lose at the pay-per-view. But in this case, I think they're just going to break that rule. No way are they going to lose. In at number 4, Zelina Vega is so much better when she is given time for her matches and doesn't have to rush them. There is a clear theme with her matches when they underdeliver, and that is that she is not given enough time, and the producers try to cram too much into the few minutes which she has, and that is when things tend to be a little bit sloppy and underdeliver. But when she is given 10 minutes, when she can take her time with things a little bit more space to think and to breathe, she wrestles so much better. And her match with Julia last night, it was 5 minutes longer than the match a few weeks ago, but it was 10 times better. And I know it's only been a couple of weeks, but so far I'm really enjoying this Julia and Kiana James partnership. In at number 3, my only complaint about this week's SmackDown was Tiffany, Stratton and Jade Cargill were given nowhere near enough time. In fact, screw it, their entire feud hasn't been given enough time. Over the past 3 weeks, their segments have come to a total of less than 5 minutes. For your WWE Women's Championship match at your second biggest show of the year, that is unacceptable. That is a joke, and Triple H said on Unreal that the men's and women's divisions are now equal. Well, I'm sorry, but Cody and Cena have had a lot more than 5 minutes to build their feud. And I understand, SmackDown's 2 hours now, certain things have to be cut, but it can't be your main women's title. It simply cannot be. And the women's division did need mid-card titles. Undoubtedly, if the men have them, the women need them too. But this has been my point for years. Neither should have mid-card titles. Mid-card titles shouldn't be a thing when you only have 2 hours per week. Hot take, I know. But before we get into the top 2 key findings, can you guys please do me 2 favors plus an extra one? Can you please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also leave a comment down below about your thoughts on SmackDown. It really does help this video out massively. Thank you guys. In at number 2, seeing Mr. Iguana show up on WWE television was genuinely one of the most shocking things I've seen in a while. Nowadays, surprises like this very rarely get kept a secret, but this one somehow did, and when he came out, my mouth genuinely just dropped. I couldn't believe it. It was great, it was fun, the audience loved him, and Mr. Iguana is somehow already a superstar. The short cameo not only brought eyes to Mr. Iguana and Psycho Clown, but also brought eyes to the fact that Berto and Garza are currently the Triple R Tag Team Champions. And I know there's a lot of rumors, there's a lot of speculation, in fact there's a lot of unhappiness with Triple R fans right now about the way WWE are viewing Triple R and how they are currently treating it basically. But last night they treated it well. And it also made Legado look strong as well, which is an added bonus. And because they're holding those titles, it's a win-win for everyone. And in at number 1, if John Cena is genuinely a face again now, it is one of the worst booking decisions I have ever seen. And the entire heel turn will go down as one of the biggest flops in the history of this industry. But I think it's all a ruse. I don't think there's a chance in hell this guy's a babyface again. What he is doing is genius, and I think last night's segment is going to go down as an all-time John Cena segment. Because somehow, so many fans are actually believing it. So when they have a fantastic match on Sunday, and right at the end, Cena screws Cody once again, fans are going to feel bad for Cody Rhodes. If Cody won the title this weekend at SummerSlam, fans would be very quick to turn on him. And let's face it, Cody is the biggest babyface by miles in this industry right now. And as much as we want to see a Cody Rhodes heel turn, WWE can't afford to do it. There's just nobody else who draws as a babyface like him. Nobody close. They just can't. So instead, what they are going to do, I think, is what I said they should do this entire time, and that's take this John Cena heel run right until the final date in December, have him run down those dates, run down the clock, threaten to take that title away for good, end the entire legacy, retire with it, and that's when on the final day, Cody Rhodes finally stops him and wins back the gold. Brilliant storytelling. The fans will be behind Cody Rhodes more, and I think last night's segment will go down as an all-timer for John Cena. But now it's time to get into the thoughts which you guys have submitted to us via the Wrestling Republic broadcast channel. Let's kick things off with Batito Bobby, who says the highs were Kiana James and Julia, absolutely, and the Aleister Black match, while the lows were the Jimmy Uso match. I mean, Talatonga versus Jimmy Uso did drag on a little bit. I still enjoyed it for what it was, to be honest with you. I thought it was fine, and I did think the post-match angle really did advance that steel cage storyline for SummerSlam, but that is completely fair. Coach23 says it was a good go-home show to bring excitement and anticipation for SummerSlam weekend, but the low point was 2 hours short create urgency and short matches. It is true, and this brings it back to the mid-card argument I was making earlier. I just don't think mid-card titles should be a thing in WWE today because I don't think they have enough time to actually make room for all of them. But I do think overall 2-hour SmackDowns are a net positive because it's 10 times easier to watch. Jose99 says the highs were the opening promo, the Women's United States Championship, Mr. Iguana, and he wants to see Ron's reaction to him. I mean, that would be brilliant. I need an Iguana R-Truth segment. That is a great shout. But the lows with Damian versus Alistair ending in DQ and Jimmy versus Tyler, I agree. Again, another DQ. There's been way too many DQs lately. I do agree with you on that. Bessa Philippe says the highs were the Women's US title match, Mr. Iguana, Alistair versus Priest. So that match is dividing opinion. But the lows were Cena's face turn didn't make sense, just like his heel turn before that. Completely agree with you. Unless it's a ruse. And I think it's a ruse. I think it's going to make perfect sense. And I actually think this segment is going to make the overall heel turn make more sense. And last but certainly not least, the Real Som 2 says the John Cena face turn seems a little weird to him. The promo was good, however it felt very random and out of place. Again, I think it's a ruse, and I think it's going to go down a lot better than perhaps how it felt when we were watching it in real time. But that does bring us, guys, to the end of the episode. I will be back tomorrow to talk to you guys a little bit about Night 1 of SummerSlam. It's going to be a fun one. Have a fantastic day, everybody. Peace.